when we can. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world. My name is Sarah Nyibak, Chad, and today I'm going to be your moderator for this important discussion on South Sudanese women entrepreneurs. This is Women Intellectual Panel discussion on South Sudanese women entrepreneurs. And before I introduce our panelists today, I just have something that I want to quickly share an introduction about what all this is about. Gender equality is both a moral economic imperative. Closing gender gaps must be a central part of any strategy to create more sustainable and inclusive economies and societies. It is about fairness and equity, the realization of individual aspirations and economic empowerment. As women of South Sudan, as women are gaining more power and influence in the world and even in South Sudan in business, they bring with them fresh ideas and innovation to the business across the wide world of industries. Greater gender equality helps to create new products, service, and business. Men and women will inevitably help to create new products, services, and business. And in different experiences and background will shape their approach to business, challenging each other and collaborating with people who think differently can breed creativity and promote the innovation ideas or innovative ideas that push business and personal growth forward. So today, South Sudanese women intellectuals have been involved in entrepreneurship activities to support, and women also have been involved in entrepreneurship activities to support their families for the next generations, making up more than half of South Sudan population. Women are often the sole breadwinners for their families, yet due to society pressures, their formalized business progress is often limited. So furthermore, women are sometimes subjected to abuse and harassment while in their places of business. Women remain underrepresented as entrepreneurs, yet female-owned business make a key contributions to household incomes and economic growth. Fostering entrepreneurship is a key policy goal for government of all countries which share the expectation that high rates of entrepreneurial activities will bring an organizational innovation. Public policies to promote female entrepreneurship include fostering a gender-neutral legal framework for business, reducing administrative burdens for women on farms and excessive regulatories, as restriction ensuring equal access to finance for female and male entrepreneurs and their pair relevant financing schemes, with support measures such as financial literacy, training, mentoring, coaching and consultancy services, and increase access to support network, including professional advice on legal and fiscal matters. So before we start this discussion, let me now take an opportunity to introduce to you our panel today. Ms. Atong Amos Agok George is the CEO of the AAA Petroleum Limited. She is an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, a philanthropist, and a mentor who has entered the space of oil sector, which is a sector dominated by men. Ms. Atong also worked as the office of manager in the Office of the President of the Republic of South Sudan. She has also worked in the past with various NGOs. With us also today in the studio is Ms. Gun Lukudu Woro. She is a financial service advisor and provide families with advice. I like that. For their financial needs. She is a businesswoman who runs a family business as well. Ms. Filela, this is something, Gun Lukudu, this is something that we would like to know more about, and especially how you coach families on finances. And all of us are going through financial issues. So we're looking forward to really hearing from you. We also have in our studio today my mom, Madam Abuk Jarfas Makwach. She's here with us. She's the chairperson for the Chamber of Women Entrepreneurs, a body that brings women entrepreneurs together. She's also one of the founders of the South Sudanese Women Against War and a former Girl Battalion Army. Madam Abuk is also an entrepreneur. Madam Abuk Jarfas, you are welcome to the forum today. We are happy to have you. We also have Miss Elizabeth Aqua Lawrence. She's a good friend of mine. Miss Lawrence is a social worker by profession and an experienced manager who demonstrated history of working in the agriculture machinery industry for the past 9 years. She graduated from University of Nairobi in 2011 with a bachelor degree in social work and administration. Miss Elizabeth is also a laureate that represented South Sudan businesswomen in Morocco during Women in Africa Philanthropy in 2011. Wow. Thank you so much, Miss Elizabeth, for being with us here, and we are looking forward to hearing from you. We also have Miss Ali Sabuni. She is an environmentalist. Wow, thank you for keeping our environment clean. She's an environmentalist, scientist, and the chief executive officer of the Eco Clean. I think I've seen it. Well done. She's the Eco Clean. We've seen it around Juba Waste Management Company. I will now move straight to our discussion, and my first question goes to Ms. Atong. I think she's not with us here in the studio. So we go to Miss Elizabeth Lawrence. Please tell us about your business. What motivated you to venture to such business?
Hello, everyone and viewers all over the world. My name is Elizabeth Aqua Lawrence. I'm the CEO of David Machinery Group, which is the only John Deere authorized dealer in the South Sudan that deal in selling tractors for farming, implements like plows, harrows, and all issues to do with agriculture. I am also currently the CEO of Savannah Medical Center, a health facility that I've also started last year. So it's also an opportunity for me to tell other women that I am CEO for the two ventures. So basically today I will talk more about the machinery industry in South Sudan. We are currently located along Airport Road in Juba. And I think we are basically the more 90% whatever in market in agricultural tractors when coming to this machinery industry. We sell one of the top-notch machinery, John Deere brand, and we have been here in business for about 9 years now.
Wow, excellent, excellent. I like that. So what kind of reactions do you get from the public when you introduce yourself as a business, the kind of business that you are doing to women? Are there many women involved in the line of business that you are doing, Miss Elizabeth?
Well, first of all, myself, when I joined this industry of agriculture, I had a lot of motives. First of all, it was my hobby to be in the industry of agriculture. And second, I saw a need. And when there's a need, when I introduce myself as somebody selling agricultural machineries, people are always very pleased. I realized that our people really wanted the machines, they wanted to do farming. And when I talk about the machineries itself, the brand is selling itself. People are very happy to hear there's a Genji brand in the country, which is something that our people really wanted to do. When we talk about agriculture, you know, our country is a big land. It has 90% of its land is arable land, which is free and can produce, I don't know, a lot. There's a lot of things that I needed us to talk about. So the reaction is really very positive. Sustainable agriculture and mechanization can contribute a lot to our development countries, especially for South Sudan if we focus on the food production, because we need machines to maximize our inputs and our outputs. So I think the reaction is really very positive, Sarah. Hello? I lost you, Sarah. I can hear your voice. I don't know whether we're together or not.
Oh, okay. I can hear your voice. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So I'm really happy to hear such kind of positive reactions that you're receiving as a woman. I'm one of the people who is proud of what you're doing. In fact, when I saw those big machineries, I wonder how is this woman able to manage all this, but I'm happy that you are doing well. So I just wanted to know, how have you able to help your business despite the COVID-19 challenges? Have you been able to get financial support from other institutions such as the government to boost your business?
I know that's basically the interest of Aisha and most of the people when talk about financing. Well, when we talk about COVID-19, it has affected most of the business. And so far, if I could talk,
Yeah.
a lot of business have really closed down during that time. It's we had to plan ourselves and adjust to the timeline. Coming to me, I mean, like, I mean, to us specifically, it affected our plans on when we're doing ordering. Let's say, for example, the things that we used to order that used to take about 3 to 6 weeks to deliver, nowadays it's taking about more than 12 weeks to deliver. So we have to plan in a time, like, to run along with the farming season. You know, it's like South Sudan is basically having one season. So you have to plan yourself well to be able to get your stock in country on time so that you don't bring the stock late and miss the farming season. So it goes along with the planning for the ordering of yourself, and then you do proper marketing strategies to keep going.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much. And what are some of the challenges that you're facing in that business? And do you think that there are other women that you can encourage to join such kind of a business that you're doing with big machinery? And what are your recommendations for women who are looking at the John Deere big machineries for agriculture has a big job that they are not able to take on? How can you advise or give your recommendations?
All right. Before I go to the challenges, I wanted to talk about the financing the banking issue institution. When
Yeah.
when so one thing I've realized that I know that there's been a lot of people approaching us, the World Bank, wanting to support the women groups, but I realize it's becoming very hard for the women group to be supported, especially the low ones, which are not well organized, because banks are not interested in dealing with women entrepreneurs, especially those operating in non-registered businesses. Many of the women who are currently running the businesses have not opened the bank accounts in their personal capacity because they have not been able to register the business entity, which is one of the things that making us to lose the funding in banks, I think. Okay, when I talk about the challenges that have faced, the most common challenges that almost all of us are facing as women in doing business in South Sudan in particular, that's insecurity issues. We have been having, like, as when importing things from Nimli Road is not easy. Sometimes you get like hijacking, there's a riot, there's this burning of the trucks. We also have challenges when we're going to the farms. Most of the time, most of my mechanics has fall into wrong ambush and so on. So one first factor is insecurity that's really affecting our business in South Sudan. I think generally at large. And lack of infrastructure is making it people to assess, like, women who are doing maybe like things like farms to bring things to town. There's no roads accessibility. Infrastructure is a key factor. And then another thing I realized for us women, there's a lack of training that need to be done, especially on the educational side. Women need training because it's giving is a challenge because uh, currently most of the business that are being done are online basis, and our women need a lot to be done. When we talk about education, is basically on the IT side. Developing worlds currently are doing most of the business online to everyone that's watching. And our South Sudanese women are actually struggling to come in, to be on that bridge. So I feel like there's a lot to be done, that we need to create a lot of training centers where we train our women on things to do with ITs, where we train our women on business management skills, where we train our women on how to register their businesses legally and compete on the international trade businesses, whereby we train our women on the branding of the products. Coming to my things is already like is international brand, which is already branded, but there's a lot things need to be done to other women to come up. Another challenge is that lack of funds for the starting up capital. Women doesn't have to start up the businesses. Uh, Currently, for you, most of the men use their own lands as a collaterals to get maybe finances from the bank and that. But women with our current society, we don't have access to assets, including the land, for us to use as a collateral to get maybe fund to start up a business. So I feel like there's a need as well on how to train these upcoming women in the business, on the entrepreneurship, how to start a business with what you have at home. So and another thing is rules, trading rules and regulations that our women need to be trained on and how to catch up on those things. Hello.
Okay, thank you so much, Madam Elizabeth, for your insightful response to us. And I believe a lot of women are going to learn from you, and they're going to be taking up more challenging roles to be able to be in the field that you are in. I want to move on to Miss Gun Lukudu Woro. Thank you for being here with us today. I want you to please tell us about your business. What do you sell? What motivated you? And how did you start?
Thank
You're
you
welcome.
very much for having me, but the name is Gune. You have to say it correct before I speak.
Gune. Okay,
Thank
I
you
am
very
so
much.
sorry for that. Yes, but Miss Gune Lukudu Woro, you're most welcome. Please tell us about your business. What do you sell and what motivated you? Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys for having me. It's been a while. Uh, the business that I'm actually in the financial service business. And in my role, I work with families, like you have mentioned. I give families advice and solutions to their financial needs. And we ensure that financial education, financial literacy is taught to families. Living in the diaspora, if you don't know about how money works, it's a big problem. So the reason I started that one is because we lost a cousin here like 10 years ago. So the community had to come together, collect money to send the body back home to Juba to be buried. And the funeral director, she came and asked me, she said, how comes you guys are a large number of Sudanese? Back then we are called Sudanese. We were not South Sudanese, 2007. Do you guys know about life insurance, importance of insurance? And that's when I said to the lady, let me know more. Let me know more. Why is it important? And I went to a career college here, and they were teaching us about the whole financial industry business. Why is it important? And in that one, I came to understand how money works in Canada, why it's important for families to be educated in insurance, savings, investment, and especially education saving plans for our children. Like as parents, you don't want in the end. I went to university here, I took a student loan. We don't want that to happen to our children. So that's why we encourage parents to open a registered education saving plan. And because when you open it here, the Canadian government gives you money like $500 to start if you open that account. Then monthly, with whatever you get, you can deduct something and save it. You get that money when your child is like finished high school and your child is studying university. If there is an acceptance letter, take it to the bank, the money gets released to you. And that is part of it is your money, part of it is the government's money. So we are lacking behind in financial literacy. Mainly that, let's put it that way, women especially. Like back home in Sudan or South Sudan, let's put it this way, it's mainly the men who focus on finances. Women just say, oh, my job is to take care of the family, take care of the kids. But that is wrong. If women are educated, the kids will be educated, everybody will be educated. As we all know, when you educate a man, you educate an individual. But when you educate a woman, you educate a nation. Like, look at all of us. What are we doing? We're sharing ideas with everybody. So it's always good when people share ideas, it helps everybody. So the other thing is curiosity. I was just curious about what is happening with our communities. What can we do to help our South Sudanese communities here, and at least come up with a solution. Aisha lives here. You have seen how the community goes on. We are behind in everything. And if you put the whole of the African continent, like Africans in general, the ones who live in the diaspora, we are the ones, the last actually in the group. I'm sorry to say that, but that's the truth. Our people, we don't like to learn. We don't like to do something to ourselves or our families. We just يعني بالعربي بيقول حاجات كده لله. This is the favorite thing تاعنا Sudanese. That's what most people do. But change is good. And when we do that, we help one another. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Bune, for your nice experience with us. It's really important for women and for families to have financial literacy so that we can be able to move on. You know, here in South Sudan, we don't have a culture of saving. When now we have a situation that has struck, that's when we are running around asking for contributions, asking for what. But thank you for the work that you are doing. I appreciate. Mr. Tong has joined us. Thank you for coming. Miss Madam Abuk, I call her my mom. I love her so much. I want you to tell me about COWI. What's the mission of COWI and what are the achievements and the future aspirations of COWI? Because this is an umbrella that I understand that brings a lot of women entrepreneurs. This is an umbrella that brings a lot of women entrepreneurs. So Madam Abuk Jarfas, please tell us about COWI.
Okay, thank you so much, Moderator Sarah, my daughter. First and foremost, I would like to actually acknowledge the women intellectuals of South Sudan for having us today. And also, I would like to thank our viewers for watching this great initiative and our participants. I really greet you in the name of our mighty God, Jesus Christ. Thank you. I want to say that Chamber of Women Entrepreneur was established in 2012, aimed to bring women together and also to spearhead the women in South Sudan in business. Excuse me, I have a problem in my throat. Our vision of COWI is to be a leading and a voice of women entrepreneurs and to serve as a knowledge and networking, also hub that support women entrepreneurs. A mission is to advance and promote the enabling economic empowerment for women in the business, empower women and advocate for specific issues that are affecting women entrepreneurs while preserving South Sudan unique community characteristic. So this is our vision that we have in our country. And as you said, Chamber of Women Entrepreneur is a great organization that will bring women together in any corner of South Sudan. Thank you so much.
Madam Abuk, for your views. I want to move on to Miss Finella. And if I please pronounce your name, please forgive me. I would like to know what are the achievements that South Sudanese...
Sorry,
Can
I'm
you
so
hear me,
sorry.
Miss Finella? Yes.
I forget something. Can I add it about the achievement?
Yes, sure. Please.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
I'll ask you later. Can we go?
Okay.
Can we go on to Miss Finella? I'll come back to you. So, Miss
Sure.
Finella, what are the achievements that South Sudanese women entrepreneurs have made towards the economic development of South Sudan?
Our moderator, Sarah Tong, thank you for having me. Thank you to South Sudan Women Intellectuals Forum. I will go straight to the question. You pronounced my name very well, Finella Iams.
Okay.
First of all, with one of our panelists today, there are jobs, there are sectors that have been predominantly men, especially on the oil and the petroleum. I must say congratulations to my sister from AAA company. That is a very great achievement that women of South Sudan are making towards economic empowerment or in entrepreneurship. I also must commend that in 2020, the first shipment of gamma arabic from rank, I think it was exported to Canada. It was done by a very young woman of my age, and I think that is an achievement that men should not only feel jealous about us women in South Sudan, but should instead applaud us. The other very basic achievement is that as much as we as a country in South Sudan are doing imports, and the imports are mainly predominated by men, most of the local products, not the local processing and value addition, is done by women. And these products are found locally in our stores. That is a very big achievement because we cannot be consumers at all times. We must have our own products in our stores. And I think that's really very, very instrumental and an achievement that I must commend women. The other achievement that women are making is I'm very pleased to see women get into the service sector. It's not just being in the product market. I'm getting women, like one of our moderators, she's a service provider in what she does locally, and I'm very proud in that. We have young women from the University of Juba developing applications for our illiterate women, and these applications for ITC can be used without necessarily using internet. And this is very, very instrumental. The other fact is that, getting women getting into the transport sector. This is also the other perspective. And in communication, I'm very proud to say that there is a team of women that is setting up a communications company. I remember about 2 months ago, we held a very big business forum in the country, and we had to hire a communications company from another country to come and to strategize on that program alone within our country. So being set up a communications company by women themselves within our country, that is a plus and that is an achievement. And I also want to mention that I've seen women take up the fashion industry. Just after the signing of the CPA, we used to have most of our people fly to Nairobi, to do most of the shopping, fly to Turkey, fly to France. And now most of these products are being done locally here and are being spearheaded by women. Most of the reasonable boutiques apparently right now are women-led. I cannot mention one by one. We have a Chairperson, we have most of them across the main towns in the country. So this is some of the achievements that women are making. But also without forgetting, it's very, very important seeing our women penetrating into real estate and hospitality industry. These are industries, or these are sectors that were predominantly, run by men. But seeing women get engaged in real estate development, putting up structures, provide accommodation, to provide recreation facilities and hospitality, and also in food services, that is a plus achievement for our women entrepreneurs in South Sudan. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Finella. I really appreciate you. I want to go on now to Miss Atong. I don't know if she's around. Thank you. You're back. I want you to please tell us what business you're doing and what motivated you to venture into this sector, and how has your journey been? Miss Atong, back to you.
Thank you so much. Am I clear? Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much, Sarah and everyone. I'm glad to be among you today. Thanks to the Women Intellectual Forums for giving me the opportunity today to be part of this. My name is Atwanga Musagok. For those who don't know me, I'm the CEO of AAA Petroleum. AAA is a petroleum operating company within South Sudan, and we mainly focus on oil trading, logistic, and services as well. So, what motivated me to join this sector is that I have not seen many women in the oil sector, and as women, we have a very great opportunity to, to join the sector and do the same work that the men do. Back to you, Mibak. And
Wow, you even know my other name. Thank you. I want to
yeah.
go to Miss Ali Sabuni. You've been here with us. I love the work that you're doing, man, keeping our environment clean. I want you to tell us about your business, what motivated you to venture into such business.
Uh, can you hear me? I hope you can hear me. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you,
Yes, I
Women
can hear
Intellectual
you.
Forum. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm really, really excited to be among these amazing women doing all different things. So kudos to you, and let's celebrate each other and do this more often. And for everybody else around the world, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. A little bit about me. My name is Ali Sabuni. I am the founder and the CEO of a company called EcoClean Environmental Services and Consulting. Within EcoClean Environmental Services and Consulting, we have about 6 sectors in oil and gas, mining infrastructure, waste management, oil and gas, and we're really in the expert in doing environmental waste management. If you've seen green trucks in Juba, you probably came across one of our waste trucks, which are green in color in Juba with EcoClean name on it. What motivated me to do this is I am, by profession, I have a BS in environmental science and a master's in environmental management. And for the last 15 years or so, I've worked in the petrochemical company in Texas as an environmental specialist. So tragedy brought me back home. I was born in Juba, but I grew up mainly in Uganda, Khartoum, and went to the US when I was little, almost 15 years old. So when my father passed away, like a lot of us South Sudanese, we tend to bring our loved one back home. And that was my first coming into Juba to actually that back in 2019. Although I was never raised in Juba, but like they say, we're always refugees anywhere. But when you come home, there's the love for your home, even if you have not lived or grown here. So waste management was one of the things that really, really triggered me because if we live in Juba, we see the issue of waste management and especially plastic pollution. And that's really what motivated me to go ahead and start my company, EcoClean Waste Management. We kickstarted in January this year, and I moved back to Juba 100%. So I'm here, and I just kind of go back to Texas because my family is still there. So within EcoClean Waste Management, which is our biggest branch of what we're working right now, we're really pioneering ourselves in the issue of waste. We have compactors. We have a capacity. We are right now in Juba. We work mainly in Juba Payam, which is outside the Juba municipality. And a lot of people ask me why we're not working within the 3 quarters of Juba, which is Juba City Council. But unfortunately, we're trying to, but Juba City Council has a contract with another company, which is kind of a monopoly within. And we're trying to see how we can infiltrate that. But when we came into the market, we found out that the contract has been given to one company and one company solely. So we are working outside Juba. We are in operation in WOW, and we're about to start to read. And what we really do is the issue of waste management, and we're really, really excited. I'm sorry, I'm right next to the airport, so whenever flights goes by, it's kind of disturbing. But we're about to kickstart something really amazing, which is plastic recycling. So in the next few months, by November, our machineries in Juba we're really going to do something about plastic pollution, which is really making sure that if in Juba you really see not only Atom could testify in the oil field and everywhere else that the issue of plastic pollution is something really big, and we're really excited that we're really bringing solution to some of this waste management, just not about collection and dumping it to the dumping side, but really allowing people to understand that cleanliness is start from us cleaning and looking at the issue of waste as a resource. The minute we start looking at it as a resource, I'm really introducing that factor that we really see a lot of differences this. So why, for me, it's passion. For me, it's what I studied. For me, it's what I know how to do. And this is all I know to do is really doing an impact in the environmental issue. So thank you for allowing me to be here.
Thank you so much, Ali Sabuni. You are doing great. Thank you. I want to go to Miss Gune, and I believe this time round I've gotten your name correct. And the issue of money is something that turns everyone's head. I don't care, but it turns everyone's head. So as a financial advisor, what particular mistakes do you see many business people doing, especially women?
Okay. Thank you for having me, and thank you, Alice. I also studied environmental studies, and I love anybody who does anything with the environment. We are there, and we are also farmers. So I love this group, and thank you very much. Once I get to Juba one day, I hope to meet each and every one one day. The reason mistakes that most people do is what? They don't talk about money, nor do they want to take care of their finances, especially women. Why do I say that? Because I have done a survey before joining the financial industry with mainly South Sudanese women. I have found that women leave anything finance to the men. And they always say their main thing in Arabic. I don't know if most of you understand Arabic. They will always say, kalam gurush de shokol ta rujal, de ma shokol ta nuswan. You see, this is the biggest mistake people make. But it is important for everybody to learn about their finances. It's especially women, because when women work, we take care of the kids. We even even if you are in business, you take what you have. Instead of having a business account, you put it in the same checking account, and then you start spending it on the family. This is another mistake. We are supposed to separate our business account from the family account so that you don't put everything together. This is the main mistake people make, especially women. And then the second thing is, if women gather in a group, they don't want to discuss investment, they don't want to discuss insurance. I've seen it all over. But in some communities, if I go there, I have seen women who are advanced, women who talk about finance. But within our community, we are lacking behind. And a lot of people are afraid. When you talk to them about financing, they go like, I don't feel comfortable talking about it. But how are you going to learn? How are you going to save? How are you going to take care of your finance when you don't talk about it? Because when you talk about something, then you know how to solve it. See, these are some of the time. And then it's always important for everybody to learn about financial literacy. We stress that all the time. And mainly we start with the kids. My children are my students. Sometimes they will agree, sometimes they will not. But you just have to start teaching them. If you give them allowances, or if they have money, like the teenagers who are working, encourage them not to waste their money. Because with teenagers, they go and shop online, this and that. The next thing you know, even if they make $500 a month, that money is already gone. People need to learn to save money. People need to know more about finances. Financial literacy is important because it's what you do for the future. You need to save money for your future, and you need to have a financial knowledge. Women
Thank you.
everywhere. Wait, one more thing. Women everywhere need to learn that. We tried it here, but it's not working because some people work evenings, weekends. So it's always a challenge when you want to help families. But we're getting there one day, one person at a time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Gune. I actually love what you are saying, and I wish you were here in Juba. I would have personally loved to bring you in to give women financial literacy, especially in the church where me and my husband are pastoring. I've seen a lot of women become vulnerable because they are not doing business, they are not doing anything, they're just depending on the husband. And then the husband decides they want to do away with them. How will they survive? So it's really important for women to hear what you are talking about so that they can be able to guarantee security for themselves. So thank you so much for sharing your background. Now I want to go to Miss Atong. With AAA company, it's a petroleum company. How many people have you able to employ, and especially women? Are there women whom you have employed in your business? Welcome.
Thank you. We have so far 60% of our employees are women. From the field to the towns, like we have 60% women within the company.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tong. I can attest to that. One of my small sister was working with her despite a lot of issues, but thank you so much for empowering women. I also want to go back to Ms. Abuk Jarfas, who is with Women in COWI. I want to ask what opportunities are available for women from the government of South Sudan with COWI?
Unmute,
Mr.
unmute.
Book, Mr. Book, can you hear me?
She's muted. She's muted.
Sorry, I muted myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what opportunities are available from the government for women?
Okay.
And yes.
Yeah. First, I wanted to finish the question that you asked me earlier because I just escaped it for some reason.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah, sure.
achievement and the future inspiration for women. What we have achieved so far as women entrepreneur, Chamber of Women Entrepreneur, we actually established a women trader on board on the border. We have 500 women in Nepal, women traders, and also we have 500 women at the border of Kaya, and we do have 1,000 women in Numuli border. These women are working daily and night for their product to be sold in the border. And we did it with together with Women Association, Entrepreneur, those of Manila, and it was funded by the East Africa Trade, and this is the one of the accomplish that we really accomplish, and they are working hard, and we are so proud of them. As we know, women of South Sudan, they are really a pillar of this country. They are the one who bring food on the table to their family. They are the one who are selling everything in market, and they are not ashamed. We are not women who can feel ashamed like before. They can tie their ketanga and sit, sell their fruit, whatever they have, and then at the evening, at the end of the day, they will go back to their house and feed their children. So I'm so proud of these women. So to answer your question about the government, I think we actually we need to differentiate between the government and the business. Business is it's something that you own yourself. Business belongs to the people. Like Garang Mabur said, he said that a weak people is a weak government. And then a strong government, I mean, strong people are a strong, it is a strong government. So I think people should work hard so that they can support their government. Why I'm saying that is through the cultivation, through the agriculture, through all these small uh, entrepreneurship, we can even develop our country. It's not to give the government money, but if we develop our country through the business, then our government will be strong. It's just like the word that said, a golden goose who lay golden eggs, which one is important? There was a argument about, some would say that goose is important, the golden eggs is important, but the important one is the goose who lay the eggs, you know, which means the business is important. Business is important than money, because when you have assets, then you have money. So as a woman of South Sudan, we don't want to look after we have a lot of things. We have land, we have water, we have mind that can do work. We are not women of yesterday, we are women of today who think day and night. So in the area of government, I don't see our women should actually uh, look forward to government more than themselves, because we have organizations who came to the country that need to help women in the area of the business, and they get the green line so that they live in this country, so that they help women, to help also youth. So it will bring me to the money, that area we were talking about. I will talk about it later on, about the 70 million that World Bank offer for the South Sudanese women and the youth. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Actually, that 70 million is something that all of us have our eyes on and our ears, and we would love to listen to more about it. Thank you so much for having us, for telling us about that. Miss Finella, I want to ask you, and by the way, if someone wants to speak in Arabic, it's allowed, so that other women also can be able to share with us and be able to be part of what we are discussing. Personally, I'm not an Arabic background, but you can speak in Arabic if you feel like you need to. So, Ms. Finella, what are some of the strategies that you think that should be put in place to encourage women in maybe informal sectors, including women across trade borders, like cross-borders trade?
Thank you very much, our moderator. Before I comment on the strategies that should be put in place, because we work very closely with the Chamber of Women Entrepreneurs, with our Mama Madam Abuk, there are some opportunities from the government side that are available for women entrepreneurs or women in businesses. I want to encourage our South Sudanese women outside there that through the Ministry of Trade, as well as Ministry of Agriculture and Ministry of Investment, they are very open-minded people with the directorates of private sector for well-established women enterprises with legal documents. For example, if you want to venture into agriculture, they are readily available to provide land or to support, to secure land to do large-scale farming as an investment. Besides that, government has specific provision for women in terms of the legal processes. If you went to the Ministry of Finance, there is a specific department that is set for women who are engaged in enterprises or in business. The other opportunity that is available from the government side for women entrepreneurs is the implementation of the Common Market Protocol under the EAC regional bloc, which we South Sudanese are part of it. For example, there is a provision that every woman that is trading across the border for goods that are less than $2,000, those goods are not taxed. I'm bringing that out so that our women outside there are aware that if you are importing goods across any EAC country, you're not taxed for that provision. and our government is implementing that. Now, the other opportunity that our government is working upon is that, for example, if you have your company right now as a woman and it's legally registered in South Sudan, when you go to do a similar service in any of the EAC countries, you don't start the legal process afresh. Now, let me get onto the strategies that should be put in place. You know, every strategy that I'm going to talk about is linked to this, to the challenges that exist. One of it is that our women are trying so much to put our products into the market. We don't have a single packaging producing plant. Packaging materials are a very big challenge. And therefore, women out there, we need to partner. We need to build the synergies within ourselves that we are able to set up something to produce our own packaging materials within the country. And when we get into packaging, then we shall be able to build our own brands. So we'll be able to develop the branding. Like my sister who is in the David machinery, you're branded internationally. Our products are in the market, but we are still held very limited in terms of branding. So we need to strategize on branding. Now, besides branding, I know it requires a lot of capital and financial investment. Most of you read our South Sudanese literature. We have more than 80% of people who are involved in agriculture in the rural areas are women. But a lot of production takes place. But the connecting routes just from the rural areas to the market centers is a very big challenge. So what happens, most of these products get to waste. I want to give you one very specific example. We do have hundreds of women doing fruits and vegetables across the river, the other side of Gondokoro. In the morning, they have to cross by boat to bring these fruits and vegetables into Juba. The way they are transported, being tied in the lomsia, the old mosquito nets, being transported in all the basins, and then the way they are being displayed down on ground. At the end of the day, if any of these products are not sold, the woman starts thinking how to move back with these products to jump into a boat and get back to the other side. Most of it gets, just disposed of. So one of the strategies that needs to be put in place is that there is need for a modern market with a cooling system in order for the value chain of fruits and vegetables to be meaningful and to make sense and to generate profits for our women. Now, besides that, one of my sisters talked about capacity building, Yajama. There is a very big deficit. I know I have worked with Asha, who is a panelist in this program, for a very, very long time. We have not yet mastered the concept of standards and food safety. Our products, our food, agricultural products are being done without any safety food measures in place, any standards. People are doing production, value addition products are getting into the market without the certification process. I know the other opportunity that the government is providing specifically for women is free certification of their products to be displayed in the market. So that one of the strategy is the continuous awareness and education on food safety standards and the certification of our products. And then the other thing is, the other strategy that we really need to look into, many people talk about capacity building. Asha can attest with me that capacity building at first used to be massive, take people in massive numbers, but as it stands today as the technical advisor from entrepreneurs, capacity building need to be tailor-made, to be specific to a particular thing. You no longer do. There are women who have graduated from needing the capacity on financial records and things like that. So they need to be tailor-made training on specific product development. If we move massively, we can train 1 million women and not able to get something very substantive. So what we do right now is to try to categorize women in terms of capacity building based on their specific on their specific needs. Now, I want to talk of something very, very specific. Some of you who are in this forum can attest to it that, sorry to take you a little bit back, just after the signing of the CPI was very, very little. Our local markets were predominantly run by women from our neighboring sister countries, because our mentality by then was that any woman who is trading and selling in the market was considered a sharamuta, was considered a prostitute, and thereby we created that opportunity for other people. And by then I was such a very young graduate that we had to wake up and make noise, because by then that was being very unrealistic. We were living in a very unrealistic economy, and we needed to change that status quo. And today I can attest to that 80% of the local market actors doing petty trade are our own local women. Now, the other strategy that needs to be put in place, having talked about that, is that women need to be organized in specific groups. Why? Because most of these women are informal. Now, when we are informal, we are not going to make a step. One, we can't have access to finance. Donors can't interact with us. People want groups that are organized, and we are working as an individual. Therefore, we need to come into formal groups. We need to legalize our businesses. With that strategy, we shall be able to break through in terms of investment, in terms of entrepreneurship, in terms of economic development. Because if we continue being in petty trade, people who are coming from our regional countries stand at a better advantage. Why? Because they have the capital, and we are creating that opportunity for that. And then the other strategy I want us to have as women is that we cannot have a strong government without private sector. All of us in this forum know that our population for women in South Sudan is higher than the population of men. And it's not just being higher than the population of men. Women today are the breadwinners in all our households. Most of the households are single-headed by women. And then we have the disease of endemic dependence ratio. You find one woman who stands in their family is looking after 20 people. And that is what is reducing down the savings of women. So if we are to move forward, and if we are to progress and be able to contribute positively towards the economic growth and development of this country, we as women must come together and say we can build each other. Small by small, we can build a bundle, and we can be able to capture our own market. Why? We have the market. Imagine most of the large trades are not run by us. And we women, we must think above our male counterparts, because there is power in number. We are the consumers. We are the heads of households. So if we came together, we will be able to buy products from our fellow women. And this money circulates back to our fellow women. And when this money accumulates, then we can do large investment. Thank you very much.
Wow, that is so amazing, Miss Finella. It is actually, you've touched on a lot of things that are good for us women of South Sudan, and I hope they are listening. I want to go to Eco Clean. Let me call you Eco Clean because we want Juba Clean. What kind of reactions do you get from the public when you introduce your business to them? Are there many women involved in your line of business, like the waste management?
So it's funny that a lot of people, when they meet me, they're like, so you are the CEO of the company? I'm like, yes. So this company is owned by women? I'm like, yes, it's a 100% women-owned company. We're very proud of that. It's 100 South Sudanese company. And then the next thing you get from men is, who's behind you, right? It's like, to me, it's like a pain in the guts when any man in South Sudan, you would be in meetings with big government officials, and they are just shocked to see you. At first, they think you're a woman, you don't have the ability to do this, or you're a woman being put ahead with somebody behind you just because you're a face. And I sit back and tell people that there's not true. A lot of us are in this field because of passion. And I own my company 100%. So I'm yet to, in a lot of the circles that I attend, in a lot of the things that I go to, very rarely do I find another woman in the room. I'm always the only woman in the room trying to talk into this waste. And a lot of people are like, Tabamul Sunini, like they ask you straight up in Arabic, it's like, what are you doing here? Because they're not comfortable talking to you. They're not comfortable hearing your point of view because this is the all men world. This is the boys talking right now. And now they're very uncomfortable because you're in the room already. So we don't see a lot of women in this field at all, not even especially leading the companies and doing what we're doing. But I always tell them that really cleanliness has always been our job, women, for us to clean. So given the opportunities, let's be serious. The men tried. See how Dubai is, right? I'm like, you guys have tried, but it has not been successful. So it's chance that you really give us a chance as women who are passionate about the field, who do have the academic credential to do what we need to do within this field to really make the impact. We like it or not, that you see maybe not the formal sector, but the informal sector, especially in waste management. If you've ever been to the dumping site, all you see is women and children. We don't see the men. These are the informal sector. These are the people that has not been really formally put in, but what they're earning, what they're collecting, really to feed their families is mainly women and children, and it really makes breaks my heart to know that that's really the informal sector in waste management when you do that. So you get a lot of who is behind you. You get a lot of Itamara Zatu. Why do you want to do this? I remember my aunt was like, I'm gonna mix Arab in English, like, so you decided to come all the way from America to do this because I told him like, you said what? I do marketing. I want to put my face in the billboard. Like I'm running this waste management system. She's like, don't do that because I'm not going to be going to Mahal and then people start pointing. So it's so important for her that how dare do I do this to the family, right? To try to do work and say that this is what I want to do for living and this is what I'm doing. So I was like, it's okay. But just remember the money is Kamande Gurusha Jamin Wasaka, right? At the end of the day, that don't come back. So there is a lot of negative connotation, especially for us women who are trying to do something in this field. But I always encourage all women say, you know what? All it takes is passion and fulfillment to do something. You don't need people's permission. You don't need to feel like you walk into the room and everybody just see the skirt you're wearing or the face or the hair, because the men are not willing to hear what is coming out of your mouth, what is in your mental state, but they're willing to put you down really quick because they have a different understanding of what women can offer or what women just don't do this. This is I don't know how many times I heard that this is not a job for women. What are you doing here? This is the first thing you get, and then they're completely shattered. They're completely blocking and really trying to not understand what you're trying to do. So it's amazing we've been in operation for 8 months, really up and running in February. And I remember coming to Juba when somebody up there was like, now you're coming with this one truck. What do you think you're going to do? Because we started really very slowly with one waste truck in Juba. And right now we have 6 to 7 trucks, big truck of waste management.
Wow.
And there are a lot of Juba, you see them. But the first thing when I got introduced is like, just get out of here. What do you think you're coming to do? So you get that point. A lot of people been discouraged. Oh, I could walk into the room with my operation manager who is a man, and they will turn to him because they want to hear, because they assume that he's the CEO or he's the founder, and I'm just the secretary coming behind him or something like that. So you go through a lot of challenges, even running a business as a woman. You go through a lot of challenges, even from your employee, because
Mhm.
we have women inside, but a lot of work involves outside. So we have a lot of men that is in my field, and some of them are very uncomfortable to the fact that I'm a woman, and here I have to tell them what to do. They're very, very, very uncomfortable with that. So we face a lot of that challenges as women, but I always say people that we keep pushing. You smile, you don't take it personal, you correct them when it's needed, but you do what you do best, and you make sure you don't apologize. Very rarely do I apologize for what I do. at all. And somebody
Sure.
say, why do you not say sorry? I'm like, why am I sorry for? I'm not sorry. I'm trying to do something. I'm trying to make a change, even if it's something some people think is utopia. When we first say that we're really going to change the face of plastic pollution, we're going to recycle plastic, we're going to increase employment. Everyone's like, yeah, sure, why not? Whatever. But we're here, we're a month away from actually doing that and launching that in Cuba. So I don't apologize for what I do most of the time. And it's super important that as women, when you decide to do something, hold your face up, put your shoulder up, lean back. And when you speak and mean it. Speak like you own it. Don't apologize into the room. Don't walk in the room with your head down. And I always tell little women, I'm like, on the room when you walk in, and really tell them that you mean what you're doing and what you're doing is really what you're doing. So with that, it really gives us the power. It gives us the energy to do what we're doing. So I encourage a lot of women to venture into this man world, as they say, and really in the waste management. I will be 100% supportive in any woman who would like to join this venture and let us do it together. Thank you.
Wow, wow. Lean back. No apology for women. Do what you like
Mm.
to do best. So thank you so much for encouraging our women. It's lifting our sleeves and do the jobs that no one thinks that they can be done. So thank you so much for doing that for us. Now I want to go to Miss Atong. Thank you. She's around. What have been some of the advantages of becoming an employer? And also being self-employed, what can you tell the people who are watching you today about taking risk in business?
Oh, thank you. It's always gratifying to be able to make a difference in people's life. We provide livelihood to the people, as we also provide them with the skills and the knowledge through trainings. Uh, for business, as my sister Ali said before, you know, there are businesses you get into. Like, what are you really looking at? Is it that you doing it just to get money, or you doing it because you're passionate about it? So you need to know, why do you have to do this? First of all, is it something that you think it's your passion? What will you provide to the people through it? Uh, Investments and entrepreneurships are risky, and you need to understand this before getting into it. But it can be done either ways. You just have to be sure of what you really need. Not every business you jump into without understanding risk. Challenges, definitely challenges are everywhere in business, especially for us, the women. There's so many challenges that we do face being a businesswoman. But know what you want and go for it, start for it, and it will be done.
Thank you so much for that insight, Madam Atong. There's a lady that has been quiet so far. Miss Elizabeth Lawrence, are you there? Elizabeth, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you've been so quiet. I would like to know, how have you built your confidence?
Pardon?
I would like to know how you've been able to build your confidence and resilience over time in your business, and how can you encourage other women also?
All right. Thank you so much, Sarah. What one thing that happened is that you is all about doing best what you are doing. If you if you're doing a business, you need to put your focus all together and all the energy together. Because first of all, you can't run anything alone without the team. So how I've been able to manage is that I learned to appreciate the team that work with me, and we do the best together as one unit. This is how I've been doing it. And I love working with my team, and we love
Mm, thank
have I
you.
answered you?
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'd like, are you able to mute your mic, Elizabeth? I want to go to Madam Abuk of the COWI. Based on your experience, what have been some of the major obstacles that businesses that have prevented women from becoming successful entrepreneurs? What are some of the things that have prevented women from experience?
Thank you so much, my daughter Sarah again. The obstacle that are facing us as Chamber of Women Entrepreneurs and as women in business as all in South Sudan are really a lot. But I will start with few obstacles that we're facing since 2013. The first obstacle it was when the war took place in 2013. A lot of businesses fall apart. So many lost their businesses, and those who even left the country. And I believe even you are one of the women who actually lost the huge business because your store was looted, and I witnessed that. My how do you call it? The cofair was even looted. So that was a very big setup for women in South Sudan at that time. And again, the war of 2016 also put a big mark of a lot of women lose their businesses. I myself, I lost my the business focus, which is a newspaper, the first female newspaper in South Sudan. I lost it just simply because when war took place, a lot of vendors they ran away, and used to have majority of vendors was from Kenya and Uganda. So my business completely fall apart. The other setback was COVID-19. Because COVID-19, the issue of staying at home was a big problem. So majority of women they lost their businesses because the profit that they have, they use it, even the capital. Now they are starting from scratch. So now I will say that the startup problem is became an issue. The capital, we have a financial problem. Even the experienced people did not have any experience anymore because we start from the scratch. We need to train people from the beginning because majority of people who got the experience, they left the country. And we do have also the issue of negative energy. Trust me, we women of South Sudan, we want to come out of that. It's harming a lot of women because if you stab back your sister in business, then you destroy her. And let me put it in our Arabic of our country. Even people, there is this issue. There is people who believe on the issue of kujur. You know, other women feel that okay, my business is not going through because of so and so did this to me. So it is a negative energy that taking us back. Even the issue of this tribe and that tribe. If I go and eat in that restaurant now, that I will be poisoned. This is one of the negative energy also. There is nothing like that. So we have to come as South Sudanese women to actually forget about this negative energy, and also we want to kill the inner competition at the same time. So it is one of the greatest obstacle in our country. The government policies also need to be in place. We need to understand it. What is our benefit through the policies? so that I know myself and I can know what protect me in the policies of the country. Financial system also is need to be put into place, and I think that's what I have. But we have a lot that actually are obstacle in business. And thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
don't know whether I missed something,
Thank
but
No, you are great.
that's what I have.
And we rebuke those negative energies in Jesus' name. So there's something really interesting that I want women to know, and including of myself and for those women who are watching. And our next question is going to go to Miss Gune, and this is really important, and I want women to pay attention to this. Miss Gune, why is it important for business people and everyone to take insurance? Kindly state the importance of insurance, including life insurance, because as Madam Abu stated, in 2016, a lot of people, women, businesses were looted, and they are unable to come back today because they lack insurance and they do not even have the capital to come back. If those businesses were insured, they will have restarted again. So please enlighten women on this issue. To you.
Yeah, thank you, Sister Sarah. Yes, I wish that those women actually have insurance, because insurance, it helps you financially. It is security for your business, safety for your business. It covers your business, and it protects for losses, like what Madam Abuk just said. The problem with our people is because I don't know about insurance in South Sudan. The last time I went home, I went around asking, but I was it was a Kenyan or South African company. So I was like, no, I needed something South Sudanese, so that I know the difference of how things run. A lot of businesses are supposed to have insurance because it provides security to them. Because with businesses, there are many loopholes. When you don't have insurance, you always face a huge loss. Fire, theft, all these things happen. Change of fashion, like those who are in the fashion business. If your products are not all sold, what are you gonna do? Where we live, insurance is important. You can't open a business without having insurance business. I think this should also be implemented in South Sudan, because it will help those women to come back. You can even get loans. Like if a business is insured, you get a loan, because the loan knows that you have something that covers you and protects your business. So it's important. Some people take it, they take it from banks. Some people take it from financial industries. So every business runs different. See? But in South Sudan, a lot needs to be done. Last time I was invited by somebody to go home. I said, yeah, I went back home a couple of times. First time I went 2010 before the division, 2011, like what Miss Fenella said, I took my kids to buy ananas, the normal ananas. So I was speaking in Arabic Juba. The next thing I know, talking to the vendor, I don't know Arabic. I am from Uganda. And that was me in the market now standing there. I was like, Yara bona, fibele tanna. Mana tanna ya Jeremy Bele. Nastibu Bele dele nastanin. But I'm glad what Ms. Fenella mentioned, that the market into at least some percentage of our own women, so that when you go and buy something, you are happy. You are talking to your own people. Free be Arabi Juba tanna local de wele be Arabi ta Khartoum. Yani something that is good. And I love the improvement that is happening. Now my other kids are teenagers. I even encourage them, go home, and they will see the difference, because they used to compare Khartoum and Juba, you see. And then the other thing I want to point about the importance of life insurance. Life insurance, I don't know how it is done in South Sudan, but I learned that if you want to work with the NGOs, you get life insurance, health insurance, you get all this coverage. Except if you're working, I don't know about if you're working in other sectors, but what I learned from my relatives and family members who work with the NGOs, they have a full protection plan in place. And for those of us in the diaspora, let us not forget that insurance can help us, like life insurance can help us financially protect our families. And it protects your financial future. Because when you have kids and then family that, I have a neighbor here, by the way, who died of next door neighbor, cancer. Mara de mutu ma cancer in Eritrea. Lakin, Rajil to into insurance, plus the woman too had insurance, because we spoke some years ago, Kalamta insurance, life insurance, the normal one. And the lady, she just turned 40 and she died, brain cancer. Jumping when? Nobody knows. But within 1 week, she was buried. This is because in life insurance protect lost income. It helped loved ones paid off debts. It can cover final expenses like death expenses, funeral expenses. Funeral here is the body, somebody died, body is taken to a funeral home. It comes with a cost because they will prepare the body, a casket is there, they have chapels for prayers, everything is a cost. There's nothing free in this world. So you got to pay something. So in the end, life insurance is there to help families. See, and it can also help pay for the future education purposes. Like I can use my own neighbor as the example. The people are living in their own house. Nothing has changed. It's only that the kids don't have their mom. You see? The sister of the mom, I think she moved now. She's the one helping the kids. And with life insurance, you have peace of mind. If something happens to you, you don't have to worry. Like if we have one of our South Sudanese member who was sick with cancer for a long time, that person have insurance, like life insurance. So he said if something happens to him, his family are covered. He's not worried. That is the main peace of mind. But again, a lot of people, when you talk to them, they're not interested. And like Ms. Alice mentioned, women are misjudged when we do business. Some people don't get it because we are helping women. But when men look at women doing business, like the financial industry is 90% men dominated. They call it all boys club. So it's like 10% women. Like if you're in a group of a hall full of them, if 50 are women, you will say, thank God, I found 50 women there. It's rarely. Like in now, look at the picture with Kawajat always there. Some of them are Arab women, Fijama Hina. They don't play. They will say, no, we want to know how money works. We want to do investment. Why is it that the men are doing it? Most of the administration jobs we have in Canada are run by women. And most of the men are in the field out there. See, so a lot of things, women need to be educated. If we have a place of our own, run by our own people, like what those of Alice are doing, that's fantastic. And that's the way to move forward. Financial literacy and nothing more. Educate the women for a better future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Gune. It's appreciated. I want to go to Ms. Finella. I want to know what are the challenges facing South Sudanese women in accessing microfinance, in enterprise and economic empowerment development. What are some of the recommendations moving forward? And I would also like you to touch about the $70 million World Bank is offering in the project and the African Continental Free Trade Area. If you could touch on those areas, I will appreciate. Thank you.
Unmute, Penela. Unmute, please.
Oh, sorry, I forgot about that. I have unmuted. Thank you very much, moderator. I will be very, very brief on each of the three areas that you have highlighted. Let me begin with access to finance by women entrepreneurs or women in business within the country. Now, our finance policy instrument, the finance policy for the country is still in a draft form. That implies that the commercial banks have got no legal tools on relation to recovery of the finance loans if advanced to the citizens. Most of the commercial banks are very much interested to offer our women loans, but without the legal framework, if you give someone $1 million, not just women, they tried that at first, commercial banks like Kenya Commercial Bank, Equity Commercial Bank, to an extent that some of them were in the verge of collapse because people defaulted, so they stopped. So the playground right now is in such a way that they give loans, but they don't give to our South Sudanese people, not even our South Sudanese women. They deal with those from the neighboring countries who provide collateral back in their countries, and then they access finances to do business in South Sudan. That is one. Number two, there are few commercial banks that have worked their way around. For example, Ivory Bank and Nile Commercial Bank, especially to women in informal trade. They provide them with the loans, but the local community, for example, the church where you belong to, the council quarters where you belong to, has to act as your guarantee. And at least your business must have some sort of formal recognition. Either you have a paper from the city council. So if you don't have that paper, that is already a hindrance. You know, if you have a registered business, you have an office, you're running a company, without those basic needs in place, you definitely don't gain access to these facilities. So it has been a very big challenge, but we believe that now with the extension of the revitalized peace agreement, those draft finance policy instruments will be passed and they will become legal instruments that the commercial banks and the finance institutions will be able to use to advance women with business loans. Now, the other aspect also is women are being able to mobilize themselves into savings and cooperatives or village savings schemes. However, this also has to be formalized with the Minister of Agriculture and Cooperatives, such that they can be able to work like ourselves. We have about 13 of them under the Entrepreneurs Association, and we work very closely with the Cooperative Bank of South Sudan and other financial institutions like the Africa Development Bank, the World Bank, to be able to access. So if you are not a member to any of those legally established institutions or groups that are recognized, it becomes very difficult for you to have access to finance or to business loans. Now, I want to touch very briefly South Sudan membership into the East African community in relation to business and Africa Free Continental Trade Area. We don't have to continue talking that South Sudan is, I must say that South Sudan is already a part of EAC. All protocols have been ratified by our government. That means that we are part and parcel of EAC regional bloc. Now, there are so many opportunities that are embedded within the East African community that a lot of awareness needs to be done for our women. And I'm glad for this forum organized by South Sudan Women Intellectuals Forum. Yajama fi access, fi suk, fi hajat, kutara, nagamulu. One of them, for example, every year, this year it will be there in November, end of November towards December, we take annually, there is what we call exhibition for medium and small size enterprises. There is that opportunity. I know the organizers of this forum will be able to share our contacts with all of you later. Now there is free market access, and the Ministry of Trade is supposed to facilitate such that we people of South Sudan are not just consumers of products from the EAC countries, from Uganda, from Tanzania, from Kenya, from Burundi, from Rwanda. We are supposed to also have our own products and services free of charge traded in those countries when we are crossing the border. And by the way, people doing business, one of the best service providers in, how do I call it, in cab transportation from the airport is a South Sudanese. And because of the difficult trading environment in South Sudan, he decided to shift it to Rwanda. with his own legal instruments that he established already in South Sudan. Today is the best service provider in Rwanda. We also need to explore, if things become difficult. I'm happy that we also have women now opening their own forex bureaus in the ESC countries. We have women opening their own restaurants in Kenya. We have women who are trading, and we need to embrace that, such that, mumkin anna kan kaman tebu hajat anna bebara inak anna kaman bileget grush ta jamade anna kaman bireja fi bele tanna asan mon gi tebu hajat to mon fi bele tanna de hiya grush mon gi leget shuya minenna de mon gi rasul kullu fi bele bitomon. Why? That's why you see that we have a lot of money. We are the spenders. Money just bypasses us and it goes to these people. So we have to be very, very much alert and very, very aware and very cautious. Now the same protocol is being extended. Now we have the government anytime soon is ratifying the Treaty on Africa Free Continental Trade Area. We are supposed to be able to open businesses across all the 54 plus African countries to do trade in products, to do trade in services, free movement of people from left to right, and we are not taking advantage of those services and provisions. And I also want to highlight in this forum of ours as women is that we must be very, very cautious as women that if you are one woman who progresses in business, even if you buy 1 million planes, as long as the majority of the women are at zero level, you are not empowered. But if you have 100 women who are engaged in businesses at an average level, you will be empowered, because when you have a challenge, you're able to run to another woman. We are having a tendency, even with our government institutions, people are tending to go monopoly. My sister who is involved in green environment, in keeping our environment clean, these things are emanating. We have women who are having clearance cargo in the ESC countries. In Kenya, there were demonstrations in the port of Mombasa that our government is trying to make it restricted, to particular individuals to monopolize. That is not going to make us benefit from the ESC regional bloc, leave alone the Africa Free Continental Trade Area. There are so many things, countries from West Africa, Yajama, Anna Nuswanta, Junubi. We need, I'm also speaking to my sisters in the diaspora, that there are so many opportunities here. We need to partner, we need to exchange the contacts. Let me give you one example. Spain wants 400,000 metric tons of shea butter from South Sudan. If we women teamed up and established a processing facility through the Africa Free Continental Trade Area and the ESC, we women can be able to generate revenue for our government more than the revenue right now being generated by the extraction of oil products. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ms. Finella. You're so passionate about what you are saying. We are just smiling and listening to you going on and on. And indeed, it's important for women to be in business, because if other women are in crisis, it's important to run to other women to be able to boost you and to be able to lift you up. I want to go on to Madam Echo. And I just realized how the importance of what you're doing. And something funny, your company, Echo Clean, the green truck, has been collecting my garbage in Gudele. And there's one thing that I've been seeing. People are burning garbage all over, and we are there moving, trying to drive, and the cars that we drive are petrol one. And being an environmentalist, what can you say about the attitude of South Sudanese people towards protecting the environment, including waste management? What strategies can the government put in place for pollution in South Sudan?
Thank
To
you,
Miss
Sarah.
Alice.
Thank you. Thanks for being a great customer. I didn't know that. I know we're definitely servicing some families in Gudele. But thank you for that question. So a lot of the issues that we have, I think one of the biggest issue we have in South Sudan is, by the way, our environmental bill has not been passed. It's still sitting yet to be passed. So one of the biggest things that we really have to do is pass an environmental bill. Without having an environmental bill passed, we don't have the ability to govern, because for any environmental law, for us to work in petrochemical company, is that we have laws, we have regulation, and we must abide by it. And the biggest part of it, which is for US, is the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency. That is the police, that is the government body. So the biggest thing we really need to do is pass environmental laws, really critique who are the governing body, so that we do have that law, the bill turned to a law. With the law, we have police, and we have things like the EPA that governs and makes sure that those laws are actually passed and environment is being protected. Because I really think when there's no laws, there's chaos, right? So this is one of the biggest things. And coming to South Sudan, definitely from Texas, is that one thing that we do is nobody likes to live with waste. What are we going to do? We're going to get it out of our house. We're going to do the best thing that we know how. Is what? Open burning. And we see that in our neighborhoods, even in the streets, everywhere people are burning trash. And this is one of the biggest issues that causes air pollution. I think I was talking to somebody who was like, oh, by the way, my fruits are not fruiting. We have issues here with papai. People are like, we have corona tapai. They keep calling it corona tapai. I'm like, papai doesn't have corona. But what it is what is the impact of open burning, which is the air pollution. So what happens when we burn waste? So we burn waste in such a high concentration. How often do we do that? In the morning, right? And in the evening. So what pollinates our trees? What is that? Butterfly and those things. Those are the one that pollinates our trees, and those things comes up in the morning. When was the last time you seen a butterfly in Juba? I had to travel down to Reed to see a butterfly in some of the rural area, because we're really not allowing those things to do what they're supposed to do, right? They're not cross-pollinating our trees, because we're burning in the morning, we're burning in the evening. You don't see butterfly flying in the middle of the high heat. And those things are really, butterflies and moths, and those things that are really, really important. Then we're ending up with things like corona ka pai pai. Very rarely are you able to eat papai in Juba, because it has that white thing and everything. Somebody saying that my mangoes are not fruiting the way they are. But those are some of the issues and some of the impact of open burning. The biggest thing we really have to do is awareness. I always travel with my water bottle intact into me, and everybody's like, after the shield was sakataki they win. Because what is everybody does? Eat, throw out the window. Drink out the window. And everybody is so comfortable with that. And I get my fun of, because I'm holding onto my trash, putting it in and taking it home with me. So I have to put it somewhere. And it was like, why are you doing that? Like, I'm the crazy one, right? And everybody who was just littering is doing what they're supposed to do. So one of the biggest things the government really needs to focus on, and with our NGOs, is to really know that awareness. We really need to do awareness campaign. There's a reason why people litter. We were a country at war, and then out of a sudden we all came to Juba, and so many people are concentrated in small places. So what we used to do back in the village, where we can ban trash and there's nobody close to you, now Juba is overpopulated. I keep saying there's more cars than people in Juba. But we really have to do awareness campaign and really educate the public about the impact of littering, the impact of the pollution, what it's doing to our marine life. There's something in Juba, when it rains, everybody just throws their trash, and it's like the water is supposed to take it. Where is it taking it? I don't care. Al mohim tala min gidam tayo musu. But when we talk about where this trash is going, what is happening to our roads. You get somewhere else where the whole waterway is completely blocked. You get to a neighborhood where the smell is really strong, and the mosquitoes that is breeding, because out of a sudden, those tunnels that is supposed to take water all the way out to the river Nile is blocked with trash, because everybody in their mind thinks that most of the people, when it rains, tabijada wasaka fi moyo. Burawen, mama rufal muhim, wasamin gidam tai. So awareness campaign is one of the biggest trigger for us to do. And then subsidizing the cost of waste management. As a business, I always tell women that at the first time you're business, right? You invest a lot of hard money into this, especially the waste compactors. If you have a proper waste compactor, not the open tippers, they're very costly. They run a very high dollar. So there are places in Juba that it breaks my heart that I want to provide services, right? But I know that as a business, the community is not going to be able to afford even the little bit that I would have asked to cover the cost of fuel and things like that. So that is one of the biggest issue too. And you really find that it's in one of most of the poor areas where it's hard for you to ask somebody to pay a little bit for waste management when they can barely afford food. What are they going to do? The option is going to be really to be able to do that, to burn your trash. So I think for the government to realize that to be able to subsidize some of the services, I'm glad that things like JICA are coming, hopefully in the nearest future, to help us who are really want to provide service to some of this community to be able to reach them once it's subsidized to a certain stage that is enable us as a business so we don't run completely over because you really want to provide services but there's economic condition and to do that. And one of the last thing to educate people, I tell people living in the West, I pay at least $30, $40 a month for them to pick my trash. This is not a government service. Government is not supposed to be taking your trash. Gande shakolta hukuma. Dema shakolta hukuma. Everywhere in the world, everybody pays for services. Even in the West, Guinea and all of Asia can testify. We pay for water, we pay for trash pickup, we pay for all these things. So really, it boils down to having our environmental bill passed, having a compliance body, and really awareness, awareness, awareness. I can say it 1,000 times because I tell people a lot that when the waste management service, we can pick up the trash all around. It bothers me because Kubri Haboba is one of the worst places when it comes to waste management, but we are continuously picking trash, I mean, from the street, and it drives me crazy, even us a waste management service, that the fact that we bring trash to the street, how do we get over that? How do we tell people that there is a collection area where you put trash? We fight a lot with the government when we tell them, especially in the market, I would like to have a collection area. 6 months later, I'm still fighting to get a collection area in some of the market that trash goes there. Trash doesn't come to the street. But this is what happened in a lot of streets in Juba that we see even in our markets, that our trash comes to the street. And what does that do? What does that do to our country? What does that do to our ethic? When we walk into South Sudan, all you see is, especially from the airport, first thing that greets you is what? Wasaka. That is really what greets you is the trash you see, especially if you take a morning flight before it's all cleaned up. That's what you see. Everybody's just okay with bringing the trash to the street because they know where this is where it will be picked. Because right there in my neighborhood, right there in my shop, it will never be picked. So everybody became like, this is just how things are done. So the awareness campaign and really teaching people that there's another option. We can put it over here and we can do this, and what we're doing is not really the correct thing would be one of the biggest things. So that would be my advice. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That is so insightful. And I think we are running out of time. Ms. Atong, I hope you're there. What are
Yes.
some of the opportunities in the business sector, and what are some of the challenges facing your business, and what are your recommendations moving forward?
Thank you. For South Sudan, we are starting from the scratch, and we have so very many business opportunities that women are not looking into it. It's good that we open our doors to those who are willing to venture into to businesses and tell them and advise them on what to do, give them direction, and give them advices on how to go about it. And challenges are very many. Let me just say this: as women, يعني بنلقى في نسوان في البيزنس بس عشان يقدر يساعدوا نفوسهم ما قاعد يحصل. We don't support ourselves as women so that we lift each other up. And this is happening so much, especially in Juba. For example, if as my sister Book said before, if I have a restaurant as she put it, right? People will not come simply because maybe I'm from a certain tribe, or maybe because of differences or their own perceptions about you as a person. So all these we really need to work on that and look at ourselves as sisters, mothers and daughters, and support ourselves in business. As for me, being a woman in that sector, it's very challenging because men look at us like people who are not capable of doing, of doing what that they have been doing, or what they think that they will do better than us. So the opportunities that are available for women in South Sudan, such as, we have the hospitality, we need women in it, ICT, oil and gas sector, and etc. So most of the challenges that the small business holders have, the legal framework, the taxes. As for taxes, we really need to improve on that. Like, they need to help women when it comes to paying taxes. At least we should have a certain consideration for that. And then how the society look at us, it's us women to change that perception. We need to look at each other as, supporters, not showing hate and competition. Let's compete with our own selves, but not with our own sisters that are running businesses. Let's improve on that, and let's make awareness to women on how they can venture into business, how they can be successful, and how they can be supported. My door is open
I think we lost you.
for anyone who would like to. Uh, can you hear me?
Yeah,
I'm
now we
saying
can
my
hear
door
you.
is open. Yeah, my door is open to women who would like to ask questions, who would like to get advices, anyone who have any inquiry about the business, or anyone that we need support. I'm available. I will send my email in and my contacts as well. And I would like to thank you so much, our moderator. I appreciate you for
Thank
this
you.
opportunity, and all the women on board. Thank you so much for this, and thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Thank you for being with us.
Okay. Thank you.
While we are closing, Madam Book, what are some of the challenges and what are your recommendations moving forward?
Okay, thank you so much. I was having a little bit problem. I can hear some of my colleagues, but I will go back later on and check. Thank you again, the moderator. The challenges that are facing us, as Tom put it, is we have it, and we have a lot of challenges. But the most one, it's we need to have awareness. We need to have a training for women. We need seminars whereby we will bring in experts so that they can train our people, our women, so that we know which one is right and which one is wrong. So that also training is even within the how we can write our proposal, because we have women there who really don't know how to write their proposal. But if we are trained, I know our women that are very intelligent. They are fast on learning. So all these things we actually in need of it. The killing of inner competition, which Atong said it earlier, and I said it on before. The competition is very good. I love competition, but competition based on lifting your sister, show her what she doesn't know, so that she compete with you in the right way. But competition that destroy the other, it does not. It will not take us anywhere. So I think we have to work on it. We have to know that what does competition really mean. If I compete, it's like a spark joy. Spark joy, you sort out your thing, and the thing that you don't like, you liability. You at the end you come to actually uh, uh, shine your thing after when you sort it out, set it up, I think, and then you shine it. And after you shine it, it becomes a standard. And then from the standard, you will sustain your place. That's where you see other store which is very organized. When it is a standard, then the owner will just clean it with the brush so that it stay standard. That's what we need. Show me how you make your store standard. How do you really organize it well? Let's lift ourselves up. I think in that case we will be the most, and will make our country the better place that everybody will like to come to. And I think we need to celebrate each other. If I succeed, then we have to give ourselves a word, uh, talk about me positively. uh, we will be succeed, because if we celebrate each other, it will lift us, and we will be the better people, better businesswomen in South Sudan. I just want to add a little bit about speak about the 70 million of World Bank. 70 million, I think it is the major opportunity for women in South Sudan. I see it as a start of women to succeed in South Sudan. Because why I'm saying that, the number that they will give women, it is huge, and they already start now of establishing the office, the institution that will give that money out. So yesterday there was a screening of people who will work in that office. I don't know when will it happen, but soon there will be a launching of this program between the Office of Gender and Child Welfare, and then the Office of VP, which is Madam Rebecca Nyandeng. If they launch it, this is where we will know, and we'll know also which directive that we will take. And but also it needs us to be ready. We need to have a group of women who have really good businesses rather than individual. We need to be ready with our papers and registration to be ready. I'm so sure from there, South Sudanese women will not be behind anymore if we do it in the right way. And thank you so much, Ms. Moderator, and then the Women Intellectuals Forum. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you so much for your remarks. I want to go to Ms. Gune. What are the challenges facing women-owned businesses, and what are your recommendations moving forward?
Okay, thank you, Sister Sarah. And thank you, everybody. I know we are coming to the end. I always talk a lot, but today I had to cut it short to save time. The number one thing, people like men, we don't have a problem with men. That's what I always say. Men, they always doubt the women. Remember what Sister Ali said, if you go to Mahal Kira, like, what are you doing here as a woman? When I first started, I was among the first South Sudanese in the financial service industry, 2015. When I started out, a lot of who are my let me say, enemies in a good way, the South Sudanese men, especially where I come from. They all of them look at the thing like Atong was thinking, because of it is not because where you come from, a different tribe. My own tribe men were the same ones who were against me in the business. I talked to a family, we are doing business. The next thing you know, another man jumps in. He was like, whatever Gune did, I don't think, do this way. And the women will call me back. Oh, there is this man, he's trying to change the plan we have created. You see, these are the challenges we face in business. And these are some of the challenges we cannot move forward. And then if you want to encourage women and youth to join the business, they go like, do you think it's a good idea? Fear of failure and fear of the unknown. This is another thing that we all face in business. But again, in life, you take risk. Look at Alice came all the way from the US to go to Juba to face that risk of cleaning the town. I took my boys, Sarah, when they were young. 2010, we got off the plane. Now from Khartoum, they compare another state. We got into Juba. They said, Mama, something is wrong. I said, why? They said, you guys have to get blue plastic bags, you know, the recycled one. And my kids did that in the neighborhood. So when the guys come to pick garbage, they go like, "Iyal de jam in bara wele shunu." Garbage takun munazam. Because if somebody pours, if relatives pour, they go like, no, we have to divide the garbage. And everybody's like, ooh, debika kawajata. But this is again awareness. We need to come with ideas and share the ideas. Because we are not in the diaspora just to stay. No, the diaspora, we are like seeds. What we learn, we bring it back home. Egyptians lift up their country the same. Like I've stayed in Egypt. That's how you lift up. You bring ideas and give it back home. Another challenge that women face, women are denied loans, either due to being women or because they don't own a lot of resources like men. Like majority South Sudanese men, even here, you want to buy something, you need to have a certain down payment, right? In South Sudan, we own lands, but majority of men own lands, not the women. Unless you are married and then they said your husband gives you a land, which is something else. I don't get it. But at least now generation, women can own land. You work, you can buy land. And if you have some assets on the side, you can be given a loan. And another challenge is, the biggest one is balancing responsibilities. We have children on one side. You have to be a mother, you have to be a wife, you have to be a leader, and you have to be committed in your business. Then when a child gets sick, you put everything on the side, you know, and then you turn and focus on your children. But if we balance the thing with the men on the side, they take care of this responsibility of the children, well, any home responsibility, don't put it on the woman. We divide everything. This way, the woman can push the business further. And then you know what? Yes, the world is overpopulated by women. The future is female, because when you look at the population, women population is above men, which means the women can, if women are educated in anything, women can do better, and they can do a very clean job better than men. And I know women are not corrupt the way we look at things, you know. That's another thing. And the main thing, gender inequality is there. It's not only over there in South Sudan, even where we live, ours is based also on race. This is another challenge we do face. It's based on race, and it is there. You want to work your way up, but you're facing stigma, you're facing discrimination. Sometimes these are the other things. They say when this door closes, another one opens. This is why a few of us are, okay, if I do business, I will help my community, I will teach people, because we are trying to make a difference and you're trying to make a change. Because remember, this is one of my favorite quotes. We are the change our communities have been waiting for. If we don't do something, nobody will do it for us. See? And then limited knowledge. This is the most thing that most women have. Empowering a woman with knowledge is just the beginning of a very successful business journey. And it takes the guide. You just got to wake up one day and say, oh, life is a lesson. Every day we're learning. Every day we're learning. If you want to overcome this, you just believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and you own your own success. And then you can do better. Moving forward, just trust yourself. Build a support group. Women need to support one another. Because if we don't support, the men support one another. If you see anything, if there is a conflict, the men come, they always say, oh, the man is right, the woman is at fault. But if women, we have to change our mindset. We have to come back, build a network of support of women, building it. I've seen it, Manuswanta Kawajat. They do things always, women. Even in the church, they have women group for this, women group for that, and a lot of things. And we have to change the way we speak. Because I went to South Sudan, I was so disappointed. Some people talk to you like you don't belong there, yet we all belong there. Huh? Like somebody speaking to you in a way that you feel like And then I take kids there. My own kids were judging. They were like, "Oh, you're always talking. Home is better. Home is better. Home, home, home." I grew up in Juba and Khartoum and all this, but then they will say, "Look at the difference. Look at how the people." Yeah, then I was just sitting there like I don't understand. But my kids do understand Arabic. You see, so there are a lot of things we could talk about. Number one, this we all have to raise awareness in all the sectors, and then women, if they have jobs, life becomes better because the most people who are living in poverty, the majority are women all over the world, not only South Sudan. So we just have to hone our skills, be there for our people, support our people, bring the change, educate the women. I got an invitation to go back home. I will come. I will come, and then I
You're
will do my
welcome.
part. I will do my part because everybody has a share. That country is like a cake. Nobody's gonna get a big chunk. We all have to divide it equally. And then we develop from where we come from to all over. So that when you go to the village, you'll sit in a cool area under the tree. That's my vision. And then what you eat in Juba, you can eat it in my village down there. And anywhere you go, it's gonna be the same. Like I live in Alberta. Look, if I go from my city to another city, the same stores, the same this and that, but people follow the rules. And I wish and hope one day South Sudanese will all follow the rules, as an we'll have a fantastic country. Alna Burua will let our kids go and come back, because Canada, the dual citizenship. I can be in South Sudan running a business. I can be here also running a business. It is my right. And as women, let us empower one
Thank
another. And
you.
thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Brune. We are happy to listen to you. I want to go to Miss Alice. What are the challenges facing South Sudanese women in the cleaning or in the waste management, and what are your recommendations moving forward?
Thank you, Sarah. I'm going to be really brief, and I think I'm just going to echo the same thing everybody has spoke about. I think the biggest thing we're facing is really the issue of capital, especially in the waste management sector. It takes a lot to be able to start. If you're going with proper compactors, they run everywhere from 50 to 100,000 US dollar each. So there is a huge capital involved in order for you to be able to kickstart in this field. And if you're adding recycling and other things, the cost of those machineries are very, very high. So capital is one of the biggest issues that really hinders women to be able to start in this industry. And when you're in this industry, people ask you a lot of crazy questions like who's behind you. But another thing is being able to be financed loans. Like this is something that I found here in South Sudan, that we get such a low interest rate in the US than here. If you have a decent job, you have a house, you can always take a loan against your house at 3% interest. And you come to South Sudan, some people ask for 50%, and you're like, what? Oh, they'll ask for collateral. And then when you put your land, which is in your father's name, they'll be like, women don't own land, but it's mine. Like I've been given as a family inheritance, but they just don't see that capacity as a woman that you should have inherited something from your father. Only men inherit anything like that. For me, who have a father who passed away and who equally saw all his kids the same, either women or boys or girls, we have equally inherited something. So you get a lot of those issues. So I think those are the two biggest things, and just being able to push through. So my recommendation for women is when you get into business, really start with a good business plan. Know your risk. Most importantly, I always tell people that business is a risky area, especially for us women. But you're going to hear a lot of negative. A lot of people thought I was absolutely crazy to have a decent job working in a petrochemical industry, making it good money, to just leave it all and come to South Sudan, where there is a high risk and all these things. But when you're passionate about something, and when you really, I tell people, take your time, do your research, educate yourself, know that nobody can outdo you in what you're doing, because what happened? You have educated yourself into the business that you want to do, and make sure it's something that you're passionate about, because those are the two things that nobody can beat you in. It's not going to be easy. Know that sometimes it will take you 6 months or to a year to really see profitability in what you're doing, right? But when you have a clear understanding of your business projection, you didn't walk into it thinking that tomorrow you're just going to be rich or whatever, but you know that there's stages that you're going to go through, that you're going to be stable, you're going to be rooted. Because once you start wavering and you're not sure what you're doing, trust me, it's going to come up, right? Because they have already underestimated your ability to do anything. So I think those are the major recommendation I'll give to any woman. And support, 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 support. Let's support each other. Sometimes women were our worst critics, right? We don't support each other. But if there's a woman doing something, support the person. Be there. If they have a Facebook, really, really support them. And for anybody who really want to figure out this waste management system in Juba, I'm absolutely open. I can share my email and my link. But you will see our trucks moving in Juba. Our phone numbers are in there. You can get us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and EcoClean. So we are available anytime when we're absolutely. The little I've learned being in Juba for almost 8 months, I'm willing to learn and I'm willing to teach other women on how to really maneuver this way and really networking. It's one of the major things. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Ms. Alice. We wish you all the best. I want to go to Ms. Finella, and I want you to just share your few challenges and recommendation moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, moderator. In brief, before I share my challenges, the World Bank $70 million. Just for clarity outside there and all our people attending this forum right now. The 70 million, first of all, is divided in such a way that $35 million is going directly for the construction of infrastructure, offices for the Ministry of Gender, Child and Social Welfare, and it will be at customs at the Center Ability, the rehabilitation. Now, the other $35 million, one, there is a suggestion that we endorse to be one safe house in each of the 10 states of Sudan. Now, the other remaining balance of the money, as about 3 commercial banks, will be selected to work with women established savings and cooperatives to advance them loans, and due diligence will be done, and cooperatives must have been functional for a minimum of 2 years, with all records with bank accounts and membership well established. Part of this money will be private sector support associations like SWEA, South Sudan Entrepreneurs, there is COWI, there is Korukwate, and a few others. So that's how the money is not like the $70 million for women to be handed out for businesses. No. And I want to mention that the women in businesses, according to the selection criteria, and part of the team that endorsed it, is that these women must be in business, not startups. We want these women to be in business. They get this money to propel them to another level with the possibility of replicating. And this person who obtains this money is able to recruit other women to be a learning platform for those women. Now, in summary, we women in business, let us build networks. Let us build partnerships. Let us do collaboration. I'm very pleased with my sister, Asha. Steal those ideas and share back with us who are at home. Mobilize resources even for any activity to be done at your own local community level. We are able to get there. Let us build each other. When God is blessing people, God does not bless a tribe. God blesses a nation. God does not bless a region. I have been who I am today, not because of my mother, not because of my father, not because of my relatives, not because of my statement, but people across the globe, across this country. So let us build each other, because there is no person who is an island. In business, there is no sister. In business, there is no tribe. In business, there is no countryman. In business, everybody is your person. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, ladies. Before we come to an end of this interesting discussion, I would like to thank our great panelists for taking their time to participate in this conversation. And my big thanks goes to everyone out there for tuning in and for this discussion today. I would like to thank our team members working behind the scene for their dedication and commitment as well to ensure that the discussion is successful. And this has been a very fruitful discussion. I hope for the women who are listening out there, you're able to pick one or two for you to be able to better yourself and better your business. So we have come to an end of our show. Good morning to everyone, and good evening to some people, and good night to all of you, wherever you are. Thank you so much for being with us, and may God bless you. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining us today. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Everyone. Thank you. Thank you.